And I decided let's go back to page Kufayin Gimel and just read across the top so we can get a feeling for this. It's a little confusing because we have several different ideas here. He says the B'mash Kamba B'shula B'inyan Eze Chelik Shal Rachel Yared L'Olam Abriya V'Eze Nesha Batzilus. Says V'hi Necha B'mukra Chusha HaNekuda HaSiris HaTachtis. He is Pashetet B'Briya. That's the part that goes to the very lowest part. That's the part that goes into Briya. So that's the Malchul, the Malchuls of Rachel. It seems fairly straightforward there. Let's see what else. He says, Amnam da, he said, but no. He says like this. Da ki mitzase kosel bekuntresi hefach mezeh. Sheshamat b'mori zahom pam achash. He heard this himself. He says, Hatesha the Kudus above the Rachel Derek Tosefos. He says Edo Niskashro, those are the ones Vizchav Rachel Leah, that's what stays with Leah. Then Asit parts of Echod, Benishach of the Malabachatzius, and that all remains of above in Itzilus. Avacha Nikuda Ashrashis Shal Rachel, but that beginning one which we had said previously was her Kesser. When she first came out, it never joins in with Leah, and that's the part that goes up at midnight. Let's read a little bit more. The Pamacheris, so he said it heard it a different way. He says, Pamacheris, Shematiki Hatesha Nekudus Aboyim Locha B'Derek Tosafos. Hema Yardas the Mata Bebriya. So that's the part that goes down to the Briya. He says it's impossible for it Lecha the Briya B'Shum Ofen in any way. So then when we're saying Kabbanos, we're going to Philos, then we're going to Zmiros, and then to Philos. The Philos Yotza, the chakras, and we're moving everything up into Olam HaBriya. And we're bringing up all the different sparks of Atzilus that were lost. Sheyardu B'Cholomos Elu, that went down into these worlds. And also those 9 spheres of the Nukva herself. So that gives us a grand total of 3 different ways to look at this. The truth about this is this. There's a bar ba'orach with DRUSHOT at the film. So that you could get over there in the DRUSHOT at the film. I'm not sure I really understood what it was going on there this time, but let's try it again. Batam lama tefillin no'ogim b'yom. So this is the question: why do they work at daytime for lo b'layla? B'sham nizbar heitiv adrasha zev. So there you get a really good idea what's going on in this drush. Mitigid loss about sofo. Called Drush al-Laila, and all the Drushim of the Laila, V'sham hu amitus inyan zeh. That's where you find the truth of this, what's really going on there. Let's look over here now. Let's come over here, back to number Mem Zayin, on page Kuf Ayin Hey. We'll go down to the bottom, and we'll look at number Mem Zayin. Mem Zayin Sachvatation, the Kudus Aboyim Lo Derek Tosefos. This is the phrase, Heim hayortos lamata bebriya. Those are the ones that go down into Briya. Hine yesh kan shnei nidunim. Nidun echod hu elus spheres mishailim rochel l'leah, ve'elus spheres nish'arim l'rochel. So they kind of go together. For hanidun hasheni hu elus spheres yordos l'briya ve'elu nish'aras betzilus. So the second one is that, and it says like the B'dachora, of course, it sounds like they really, depending on, they go together. 1 second, please. Okay, let's see, where did I go? The Osama Sphira She'il she lends to Leah, Nish'arim b'chatzilus, fa'osin she'nisharim b'rochel yord in abriya. Being kanim and devarim, so let's say that's right. He said, "V'nibsa shetafi shemua zu shechatesha sfira sheboyim l'rachel b'sod tosefes heim yord in the bria." That's the same ones that go down into Olam Bria. Nibsa shelo hisha'ilu d'leah ki im sfira achas. So it comes out like that. She only gives one sfira to Leah. So but it's really hard to understand. He says, because this would mean Loma Shenigda Leah B'Kol Kumazer Anpin because borrowing from Rachel, what did she borrow from Rachel? She borrowed just Sfira Achad Belvad, just one Sfira. So then, according to this, the answer that the Rav gave, it can be found in the Drushim on Tefillin as Stiris HaShmuos, because obviously you can't have all your eggs in one basket. They are different. As Stiris HaShmuos, Miyusha V'Kol, over there everything is settled. Shkein HaShmuos Shlishis Na'asa Na'achar Alas HaShachar. So he says that this third one, which is, I think, has to do with the, I don't know which one it is. The third one, which is, it takes place after Alas HaShachar, Rachel Tisha Kain and the Leah, but that's the third one. It only happens, I guess, when we'll see how that works out. Let me read it again. He said, Hashmu Hashlishis Na'asa Na'achar Alas HaShachar. Now, Hashmu Hashlishis, what is it? He's going to go, maybe he's going to go over this. I'm not sure whether he does or not. Which is the third one? The third one has to do with the other 9. So the other 9, either the other 9 stay in the Tzilus and Malchus goes down, or the Kesser goes down, or they go down and the Kesser remains up above. So let's go. So now we're going on this phrase number Mem Ches, and it says like this: the ale at the drush of Amida and Reish Drush base, Kasa the Maruchu the Masha Bevur Khan. Sheta'asis as spheres the nook Shetashis as spheres the nook Yordus the Bria. That's what goes down at the Bria. So later on we're going to say, we're going to give a little principle here, that's what happens when the morning star comes up. Like a rock the spheres of Malchus are Pratius, but what we're really talking about is only the sphere from a specific sphere of Malchus shall Tasha spheres Hanechlalis of the Nook. Now let me read this again. He says a Kavana is only to the spheres of Malchus, Hapratis. So every sphere has 10 spheres within it. I think that's what he's saying. Rock the spheres of Malchus Hapratius shall Tasha spheres of Klalis the Nook. Now I know there's charts on this, and it shows you which one is actually going down. So in other words, you have 9 spheros there. Each one of them has 10 within it. The Malchus part of it is what goes down. Behind the Sharak spheres of Malchus Apratius Shadachem Yered is the Bria. That's the only part that goes into Bria. All the rest remain up above all of the Tosafos. Averav Yishar Chateshes spheres Rishonas Apratius shall Ozim Teshes spheres Aklalius the Nook. He said Nisharna Bechatzila V'Dochav Yordos, they remain in its Tzilus and they don't go down. So the basic principle is one that we see a lot, is that each sphere has 10 spheres within it. If you're talking about an additional 9, then you're going to find out that the Malchus of each one of those 9 is going to go down into Bria, according to this thinking. So then you come to the Birchos of the Avos, the Birchos Avos, Heim Chazru l'Chatzilus, that's when they go back into Atzilus. Because Malchus Oldach bis Chaveres, and each one of these Malchios that we're talking about, it goes up in its Chaveres, Imatesha Spheres Rishonas Apratius Shal HaSphira. Now let me see if over here he gives the example Kagon. Yeah, he does. HaMalchus Apratis the Chochma. Let's take Chochma for example. It has a Malchus. That Malchus, now he says a little backwards word, I was going to say it. It went down into Bria. You go into Malchus Apratis the Chochma Olam Bia, so now it comes out of Bia. Mischaveres imitation spheres Apratius Rishonas the Chochma V'chein Kulam al Derek, and then all of them go like that. He says they all come back, but it's the Malchios of starting. Well, I took Chochma, for example. Now, I don't know why he didn't take Kesser, but he took Malchus, so I'm not sure that Kesser has also. But he's talking about, I don't know why, because he's talking about the 9 additionals that come in. That's the part. He says the 9 additionals is the Malchus of each one of those additionals. Take, for example, Chochmah, and then it comes back at Al Sasha. It could go on Malchus, the Pratia, Shalom, Bibim, it's Chaveris, Imitation Spheres, the Pratia, Rishon of the Chochmah, they can Kulam on their exam. So that's according to the Shemet Sasson. So now we're on number Memtes. So he says, in this bar ba'ora b'drasha tefillin. So something about this. What happens in its tefillin? He said previously it has to do with why we don't wear tefillin at nighttime. V'zel l'shono sham v'sham the haida b'drash shalanu. Kasamno ki koyus sofik etzli im shemati b'mori zel shahatesh spheres the rochel heim yordin b'layla b'olam abriya. O im shemati shachasphira series, only the 10th one. He ha-yeredis, bepashtus a the spheres of Malchus. So then we'll be talking about just, not talking about I don't think he's talking about the Malchus pratis of the 9 additional. He's just talking about the basic idea. Does Kesser go down, or does the Malchus go down? So let's go down. O im shematish al sphira al series, which is Malchus. He here read it bepashtos a gavon of the spheres of Malchus. So we're talking about what's the lowest one. That's Malchus. The Lishma of the Shem and Sason, Shehuba the El Os Mem Hay apparently talked about it. Gavon of the Kesser Shucha Hasiri Melamata. If you start counting from the bottom, he says, and the phrase is that if he heard that the 10th one goes down, which 10th one are we talking about? We're talking about the 10th when we start from the top to the bottom? No, he says we're talking about the 10th when we start from the bottom to the top, which is Kesser. And now I'm going to tell you the truth. Let's see if I can understand this. Without any doubt, this is it. These 2 things. Now, the truth is that they're both true. And it goes, the truth of it goes like this. Let's go to Chatzos. Yeredis Asfira Asiris the Rochel Ba'olam Abriya Behechel Hashvihi Ha'elyon Hanikra Hechel Kodesh Kedoshim the Bria Kanaida. It goes down into the very top part of Bria. V'ondim Sham Ad Or HaBoker, and there they stay until the morning light. Probably, I think he's talking about Aliyah Moda Shachar. I'm not sure about that. I think he means goes to something else I might have seen here, but it's a little bit confusing. V'kol Osacha, one second. V'kol Osachatzos Laila Yosheves of his. So she's there. So let me once get into Sham Ad Or HaBoker. Okay, so whatever went down, whatever goes down, I don't know if it stays there. V'kol Osachatzos Laila Yosheves of his Amerisk V'korea Elzaz. So she's constantly calling there for Zeranpin. This says so Elokim al Demiloch. So what does that mean? Al Techresh v'al Tishkotei. In other words, she's calling out Kenisker apparently but the Zohar and Parshas Lech Lecha. V'teshes Spheros Acheros. So let's take the other 9 Spheros. Hein Mischabros in parts of Leah. They join together with parts of Leah. V'al Yedei Kach Nigdalach Leah b'kol Kubazeranpin. Then the Sha'arim Kach Ad Or HaBoker, and it remains like that. And I'm still not sure from what he said which was the one that goes down. Whether it's the Malchus or it's the Kesser, I'm still a little confused. The Sha'arim Kach Ad Or HaBoker. V'orcha b'boker misme'etis Leah. So then what happens then when the night starts coming? Leah starts getting smaller. V'chozer the shiur rishon bilvad. She comes back to be for the chaz of Lamala, just like she was originally. V'omedet ba'akrech zeranpin b'mekoma, and she stays in the back of zeranpin. She has a place there. K'naidim. Az osa matesha spheros shalokach min Rachel. So now those 9 spheros that she had given to Rachel, that Rachel had given to her, rather, heim yordas the madagam heim ba'olam abriya. They also, now this is the part that is not 100% clear in my mind. He says they also now go down into Bria. Heim yordos lamad gam heim ba'olam Bria. But his chaver im osach nekuda atzman shal rochel. And why do they do that? Because there's a nekuda, whatever that nekuda is. I mean, I'm not clear what nekuda it is right now. He said, his chaver im osach nekuda atzmi shal rochel shayarda b'chatzasolida that originally went down and was calling out the night long. Was osach nekuda asiris. So then that nekuda, that's 10th one we're talking about, shayarda sham b'chatzasolida. He ola ata b'chatzila. So now that you have the switch takes place, they go down and they join. That is the 9 that were added on are going to go down and join the 1 which is in the top of Bria, and now they're all going to come back into Litzia Leah. Originally, Leah pushed her down. And she took her place. So he says Va'ata. That Leah is already smaller. She doesn't push her off. So he says, so therefore, that's not the same. Let me just read again. She's already been squeezed, pushed down, and all that part which she had been lent to her goes down into Bria. She's not in a position to push Leah Rachel anymore. So therefore, nothing is pushing Leah to keep her down into Bria, which we said before that you couldn't have them both together, one on top of the other, without them mixing together 100%. That would push Rachel into Bria, which is what happened. Gam tam acher yesh b'zeh. There's another reason. V'huki al yedei esek haTorah. So he said, because we learned Torah she'oskim Yisrael l'komen acher etzel salayla. That's the Torah that the Jews learn after midnight. Hey mosivim bo koach. She starts getting added strength. V'hi olam ma'at ma'at, and she goes up little by little. Ad shenimsa, until it's found. Ki ba'or haboker gam rachabeki la'alos b'tzilus. And now the morning light comes, which is Nates, and she's now in Tzilus. Aval l'teisha sefiras yardach of the mata, but the other 9, they go down below. B'bia knizker le'ad kan l'shono, as we mentioned before. So I'm not sure what happened here. This Rachel, this one aspect of Rachel, the way I hear it, the one aspect of Rachel stays down below till dawn. At that time, there's a switch in Leah. Leah's mismayit, and the other 9 go down to join this one sphere that's down in Bria. Now, but this last part that he said, was Ad shenimsa ki ba'or haboker gamra ki la'alos b'tzilus. Who's the he? So the he seems to be just thinking through this, he seems to be this one Nakuda that we're talking about, Keser or Malchus. But the other 9 that she had lent to Leah, Yardu Lamata Bibia, they go down to the rest of Bia, Kanizkar Ad Kan Lashona, as was mentioned over here, and we're going to stop here. We'll pick up number Nun, God willing, the next time. And today is the 8th of Shevat. Okay.